I live in Arlington, Texas, and job interview prospects take me all over the DFW area. That's the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex for those that don't live in Texas, especially living in North Texas. I had a job interview in Fort Worth proper, so luckily for me, I live on the exact edge of the bus line. I hopped on the bus, paid my $2, and I sat down and pressed my forehead to the window as the bus took off. I watched the landscape change from no man's land, empty fields, and sometimes even empty lots to new construction projects out in the boonies evolve all the way into the towering buildings that are known in Fort Worth. In my opinion, it's a bit of a jarring experience to know that completely flat, abandoned land is just 30 minutes to an hour ride from the towering structures in the middle of downtown Fort Worth. It's very surreal to think about the fact that there's a lot of no man's land between all three of the major cities in the DFW Metroplex, being the lots of land between Fort Worth, Arlington, and Dallas, respectively. Look up a map if you're not sure what I mean of the area. You'll see places in the midsections of the three cities like North Richland Hills and Haltom City, but then you'll just see stretches of land that just have nothing on it. Anyways, on one of the stops heading into the city, a man dressed in a faded tweed coat with a very peculiar bowler hat boarded the bus. He carried a small cage with a chattering parakeet, which was very adorable. The man spoke softly to his little parakeet, murmuring to it as if the bird was an old friend. It was very adorable. The man sat in a chair right in front of me, and I heard the cage rattle slightly as the man whispered, "Don't mind the crowd, they won't understand us." Two problems with this statement. Number one, I don't think the bird can understand people in general, at least not coherent sentences. And number two, it was just me, him, and the bus driver, so I'm not entirely sure what crowd he was referring to. This man continued to talk to his bird, and as much as I didn't think the bird was really receptive to full human sentences, the bird would tilt his head and look at the man as if he was comprehending Shakespeare's English. By the time we rolled into Fort Worth, I wasn't sure who was stranger, the man, the bird, or the fact that I had spent 15 minutes eavesdropping on a one-sided conversation that I didn't understand, that to a degree had the insane possibility of possibly being two-sided. Who am I to judge the fact that the bird and the man couldn't actually communicate? From my perception of normalcy, which has been eroded over the years, this was a peculiar situation, but the more that I looked at the man and his bird, the more it seemed like their communication was genuine. Now, this man had not paid me any mind the entire ride, but as I had more than likely been staring laser beams into him, he stepped off at his stop, tipped his hat at me, the parakeet chirped at me, and both of them wandered into the streets as if they belonged to the city itself. It was a very interesting time for sure.